Hello, everyone. Welcome. Whew. Noodle Mash's live was quite interesting today. So let's just play this little clip real quick and we'll get started.
When you tell one lie, you got to remember the 100 lies that you told to cover that lie up.
That wasn't no lie.
Be quiet and don't talk.
So that judge is saying, if you tell one lie, you got to tell hundreds of other lies to cover that lie up. And some people don't realize that on this platform. They want things their way. And nah, they don't always get it their way, don't they? So, okay. So, we had last week I got informed that hound dog was talking shit about me. So I went over and took a look, and lo and behold, the whole chat was talking about Noodle Mash, me, Siren, Jamie, the whole 9 yards. And I was like, what? Hey, be good. So I was like, what is going on here? And guess who a lot of these people were? They were part of Dorothy's crew. So when I called out Ann Dog last week, for his little escapade, he decided right afterwards, he decided to restream me. And they were encouraging it. The main instigators in the fight were some of Dot's mods. And we all know that Ann Dog is a big Dottie simp and gets his information from her. We all know Dot. She hears something, it must be true, and she runs with it. Hey, Julie, welcome. So today on Noodle Matches live, I'm hearing X is whining she got doxxed. Miss Monica. Get a grip, Monica. Nobody really cares. Hey, Maggie May. Hey, Jess. Hey, Wyoming. Nobody really cares that you got part of your last name put out there. You seem to like to bully people a lot, don't you, X? And now you're whining about it? Just because a few letters of your name, just so people will know that they have your information and they're willing to use it if the time is right. Yeah, Ann Dog is a disappointment. Ann Dog is really a disappointment. And one of the offenders on and dogs. One of the number one offenders is Ariana. So she decides just to come to my channel and comment. And then she dirty deleted her comments, asking for proof of her nasty little comments and her behavior on and dogs, encouraging bullshit. And so they were actually talking about Noodle Mash too. They're talking about me. They're talking about Jamie, Amber, things that didn't really concern them. So I took screenshots of the chat. And these are pretty trigger warning, everyone. These are pretty disgusting. Ariana, I'm just gonna say this to you. I thought you were better than this, but apparently you're not. So first, before we get started, I got an email from Alex. So we're going to put this on the screen first. And he says, I like you, Bill. But if you want to throw me out for saying the truth, then fuck you. That's right, Alex. Did you send me this email? Did you send me this email, Alex? Okay. So you came in my chat starting a problem. And Ahmad timed you out or gave you the boot. And now you're sending me an email telling me to fuck. Now you're saying fuck you to me? Because you didn't know how to behave yourself. I'd like an answer, Alex, to that before Ahmad gets rid of him. Yeah, be good. I just wanted to show this. Before we got started, because if you don't know how to behave, if you want to come in here and start a fight and throw rocks at other people, then Ahmad has every right to time your ass out or give you the boot. It's just that simple. If you don't know how to get along with that someone, hey Shelly, how are you tonight? Hi Yellowfish. So I just wanted to show everybody this. So he says he likes me, but if I'm going to throw him out for saying the truth, then he says, fuck you to me. Okay, whatever. You think this is supposed to trigger me? All right. Now let's go to the next screenshot, shall we? So here are some accusations that were leveled against Noodle Mash. So Sophie is accusing Noodle of laughing at her disability. That isn't true, Sophie. Nobody laughed or hawked at your disability. But what was said was your disability is no excuse for your behavior. You don't get a get out of jail free card because you claim you're disabled. The rules on here apply to you too. Oh, doesn't this Sophie girl get anything? And now she's saying I have everything. Oh, I have everything. You have proof of everything. I highly doubt it, Sophie. And now she's accusing Noodle Mash that she wore makeup and shit just to impress her new squeeze. So here's a bunch of here's where they're trashing Noodle. And you'll see someone with a wrench here. Her name's infamous Ariana. She used to go by Ariana in dots. And so she's accusing Noodle Mash of cheating on her husband. Now, I'd like to see proof of that, Ariana. How do you know that? Oh, because you heard a rumor that she is? Just because you heard a rumor of something doesn't make it true, honey. Yeah, she is, Julie. She's so vile and ignorant. It isn't even funny. And this Ariana girl is just as bad. So she's saying she tags Sophie. Noodle Mash is the subhuman that put a disabled woman behind bars. So they're blaming Noodle Mash for Mrs. Portland's actions. So whose fault is it that Mrs. Portland went to jail? It wasn't Noodle Mash's. Mrs. Portland has no one to blame but herself, in my opinion. All she had to do is follow the rules, follow the anti-stalking order, and she wouldn't have had to go to jail. And now Sophie wants to come up on Andog's panel. I agree with you, Yellowfish. Mrs. Portland is stupid enough on her own for saying and doing what she does. And she did it all on her own with help from no one. I thought she was better than this, Wyoming. I thought she was way better than this, but apparently not. And she came over here, made a comment asking for proof. And I'm going to give it to you, Ariana. You asked for proof. You're getting it. So here's the next one. So here's the next screenshot we're going to go to. And oh, look at who we have in chat. Kelly Cares. Pretty good. You're absolutely right on that. So Kelly Cares is here. And supposedly, Ariana's thanking Kelly Cares for support. She must have donated to the guy with fleas. And then Willow Blossom. She's not innocent either in this. And then here's Hemi doing what he does best. So here's she. Now here's Ariana again, mentioning my name. I heard Brutally Dishonest wanted to hook up with Siren, I believe. Aw. Ariana. Ariana. What are we going to do with you? Do you know the difference between a joke and reality? And even if I wanted to hook up with Siren, or Siren wanted to hook up with me, is that any of your business? Is that any of your business? Of course not. But you got to stick it there. You got to stick your nose in with the sexual comments, don't you, Ariana? And I said this on the last time I mentioned you. And I said there would be nothing wrong with hooking up with Siren. So there's that for you. And do you think I really give a shit what you think? Oh, thank you, Yellowfish. So now they're going down the list saying Noodle Mash is sick. Blah 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 blah. So Hemi here is saying I kiss Ariana's all the time. Maybe he's referring to kissing her ass. But the last time I seen him really was kissing Dottie's ass. Someone who doesn't do any fact checking on YouTube whatsoever. So when I hear something on this platform, I check it out for myself. I don't just rely. I just don't hear something and run with it. And I kiss nobody's ass. Just so you know. So here we go. Now we have this Lisa bitch. You know? Now we have this Lisa bitch who is claiming I'm crying about liking having people talk behind his back. Was I in tears, Lisa? Was I actually in tears? No. I was giving my opinion on people talking behind Lycan's back. Why don't you get something straight for once? Oh, and I seen you in Retro's chat, honey. And then here's Ariana again saying, trying to encourage Andrew the dog. You should restream Brutally Dishonest. So here we go. Let me just. So here's Lisa here again. And she's type brutally honest mom abuser. So do you think, Lisa, if you type that, so if you say that enough times, people will believe it? Apparently so. You go with anything people say. Apparently. Nope, no receipts or proof needed. So who did you ask for proof that I beat my mommy? So here's Ariana again with a link. It's probably to my channel. I don't know. And the Sunshine Madness isn't nice either. And here's this Toad troll. Well, when he decided to come over, he got the boot. So this Lisa girl is tagging Ariana and agreeing with her, saying 100% restream him. Oh, like that was going to get me mad or triggered, honey. So here's the next one. So Ariana's making a comment. Is he crying over Lycan? LOL. And then Lisa's saying we can hear him. And then Willow Blossom is saying, let's hope so. Ariana. And then Lisa's saying, brutally honest wants to replace Amber in Lycan's bedroom. These idiots. So Ariana's saying, replying, Willow Blossom, that would be hilarious. And then Hemi down here says, this guy really? And then Willow Blossom's back. Brutally honest was not there. And I wasn't in Raleigh. Duh. Were you actually listening and getting the point of that live stream, Willow? Apparently not. And here we go. Lisa. Brutally honest and Lycan should get married. Aw, poor thing. He's a parrot. And then Sunshine Madness says he's mad he wasn't on the phone call. And then Hemi's back here saying, really? Like he's clueless to what anything that goes on. And then Willow's down here saying a chat he wasn't invited to. Really? You gotta go there? It's no, what I was saying, girls, was it was no one's business for Jamie's or Amber's sex life to be broadcasted on YouTube. Now, what did I give a step by step on what happened in Raleigh? No, because it wasn't my story to tell. It was Jamie and Amber's story to tell. These girls cannot get that straight. But of course, they got to sit there and make jokes and say, I want to replace Amber in Lycan's bedroom. And saying I wasn't there? Duh. So, Ariana's saying get to the point and start crying now. Brutally dishonest. Am I crying, Ariana? Do you see me crying over any of this shit that you're saying? No. They are weirdos. So let's get to the next one, shall we? So Lisa's asking a question. Will Brutally Honest do a documentary on their relationship? The answer to that question, Lisa, is no. Read my lips. It's not my place to do so. It's not anyone else's place to do so either. You stupid crow. And then Sunshine Madness goes, Brutally Honest, always a bridesmaid, never Jamie's bride. So Willow's going, he's Lycan's new PR guy till Elle finds out. I don't know what that means. So he's Lycan's new PR guy until Lycan finds out? Huh? Make some sense, Willow. So here's Lisa. This is interesting. Lisa says I have to wait 20 minutes to chat in the stream with an angry face. Aw, poor thing, Lisa. I'm so sorry. Not. And now Willow Blossom is making fun of the situation, said he's going to blame Amy. Well, Willow, since you don't know exactly what's going on here, she was the one who Amber confided in, and she started telling everyone her business. That's a concrete fact that we can't deny here. So here's the next comment. Infamous Ariana. So you're trying to be a bad bitch now with that name of yours? So she's saying, I thought Amber didn't want anyone talking about her private life. LOL. I think Brutally is going to be a block bitch on Amber's channel. But I didn't talk publicly about her private life. Stupid. That's what you don't get, Ariana. I never talked about her private life publicly. And I said very little about her private life privately. Do you think I'm going to tell the likes of you anything? Hell no. Because you're just going to spread it around the internet like it's no big deal. So here we go. Now, infamous Ariana thinks she's a bad bitch by saying, Brutally Honest is trying to rub the nips. Aw, poor thing. You haven't got any lately, Ariana? So you have to project your needs on here. So now they got the violin playing the fiddle. So now Willow Blossom is saying, unlike you, Brutally Honest, she canceled her live. Unlike you, Billy. And your point is? And then Lisa goes, Brutally Honest is disappointed. How does he think his mom felt when he laid his grubby hands on her? Now, Lisa, since you think you know it all, why don't you show proof I laid my grubby hands on my mommy? I'm sure you couldn't do that because it never happened. Hmm? So here we go. Here's Willow again. He's talking like it's a James Bond plot and Retro is Dr. Evil. Okay, whatever. That's your opinion. Now we're getting into opinions. It's these people are clueless. But that Lisa chick sure showed up to Retros and sure knew how to open up her mouth there. And Ariana, I do show proof. I do show my receipts. Unlike Mama Dottie, who just hears a rumor and just goes off with it. She don't bother with receipts or receipts. So I'm just going to repeat this real quick. And dog Andy decided to restream me due to public pressure. And he looked really dirty. I'm serious. He looked like he needed to take a bath. He needed to take a flea dip. And he's sitting there, thinks he knows it all, and he's on his high horse, and give me a break. So these girls are in his chat trying to throw him bones or something. Well, all he has to do is click his heels and say there's no place like home. Come on here. And then he's over to Dorothy's to hear some more bullshit. And then you have the same old crew over there. And I didn't bother taking screenshots of Lufa over there. I didn't bother cropping those. So Lufa was in there talking shit. We all know that she's vulgar and disgusting. I don't have to prove anything with that. And then we had Robbie in there, of course, trashy noodle mash. And she was probably doing that to defend Mrs. Portland, which is not surprising. But here's the thing. So let's go back to the first one, to the first screenshot here. Oh, not this one. Okay. And Sophie was asking to come up. So the dog, the scratching dog, decided to let her up. So what Sophie decided to do was start telling lies on Noodle Mash. He started telling the dog, oh, Noodle got titty girl fired from her nursing job. That's another lie. And then she goes, and then Sophie goes on and says she bullies Monica. Fuck no. Monica bullies her. What the fuck is their problem, you know? And then you have and then she lied, and then she kept lying. And I'm saying, okay. So where are they hearing this shit? They're probably hearing it from Mrs. Portland herself. The same person that made several videos telling tits up Monica and her old buddy Cole to fuck off. Mrs. Portland realized that they got her, that they taking her, that Mrs. Portland realized that her taking their advice contributed to getting her into trouble. And they did weaponize her. Let's just get that straight. If we all may not be fans of Mrs. Portland, but let's just get real here. They like to feed things to Mrs. Portland, like to get her agitated. But they sit there. So this Sophie sat there and said that, oh, if Noodle doesn't like it, she can always leave. And I'm sitting here, standing up for someone that's a vulnerable adult. So you're sacrificing one vulnerable adult for another on here. What the fuck is wrong with you, Sophie? So you probably missed the video where Noodle showed proof, her disability letter from the state of Oregon and the federal government saying she's disabled too. So what gives? So you're bullying one vulnerable adult to supposedly protect another? All I see here is excuses. You just want entertainment. You just don't like noodle mash. And you need something to talk about. So what's your problem, Sophie? So what's your problem? All you do is sit there and lie, tits up, left her nursing job, or so she said, and then comes up with this, oh, Noodle got me fired for telling my employer on my YouTube activity. Come on here. If that's true, please show some proof. And let's address Lola, that little cunt bag. Yes, I called her that word. And if I call you that, you are really disgusting. So she decided the one day to go on Sophie's panel and sexualize a child, Amber's child. So she does that. And then we find out that she starts making threats to Kelly the Advocate. So she threatens her and then threatens to R her. Now I'm going to say this. I'm no fan of Kelly the Advocate. I think she's a Karen. She's a lunatic. She has her own issues, her own mental issues. However, she has no right to make threats like that. She has no right to sexualize a kid. She has no right to be doing the shit she's doing. But Sophie will have her on a panel. Like it's no big deal. So it's no big deal to them that Lola sits there and makes threats to people to harm them. Why? Because she wants to put fear into them and she thinks it's funny. I don't think you're funny, Lola. Not one bit. Perhaps you can go over to Glenn and perhaps threaten him. See where that gets you. You maybe get some equal coverage. Not coverage. What's it called? Be on equal ground. There. Because we all know Glenn likes to make threats. Well, I showed he decided to make a community post threatening Granny's watching. Now I will say I don't like everything Granny's watching does, but she doesn't deserve to get threatened, to get physical harm. It's illegal to do that. It's fucking illegal to make threats of doing harm to another person. To actually say you're gonna hurt them in any way, it's a crime, dumbasses. But they don't care. They think the rules don't apply to them. It just applies to everyone else. And the law doesn't work that way, unfortunately, for them. So I'll just say this. They'll catch up to them. The law will catch up to them. Nobody laughed at your disability, Sophie. I don't even know what it is. I don't know how the UK works or whatever, if you're in the UK or the US, but the rules still apply to you if you have a disability or not. So, I don't care really, what your disability is. I can take a wild guess. It's probably due to behavior problems because you're not behaving on here like a decent human being. But it's not a pass for Noodle Mash either. At least she knows that the rules apply to her. Noodle can't come on here and be a nasty bully. And neither can you, Sophie. You can't sit there and lie about people like it's no big deal and expect there's no consequences. So let's deal with the Mrs. Portland situation, shall we? Since they all want to white knight for her. It's no, I don't care. The rules apply to Mrs. Portland, too. You can't appeal a channel termination on YouTube because you say, I can't control myself. Hey, Violet. You cannot appeal and say, I'm disabled. Here's my disability letter. Give me my channel back. I can do whatever the hell I want on here. YouTube doesn't work that way. YouTube doesn't work that way. You just can't use the disabled card to get yourself out of trouble. Like some of these idiots on here are doing. So here's the thing. Way back, I got the impression that Noodle was doing the same thing. Saying, I'm disabled, leave me alone. I could do that what the fuck I want on here. But I heard the story from someone, several people. And here's the thing on that. Robbie was biased. He was Mrs. Portland's friend. And I heard it from a few other people. So I looked for myself. What I didn't know was Noodle was good with her, good with Mrs. P when she first came in. But when she dropped a truth bomb on Mrs. Portland that the rules apply to her, Mrs. Portland goes crazy. And then starts going after her. And we all know what happened after that. So then she runs to Robbie saying, Noodle Mash is harassing me. Now, I was no fool with this whole thing. Totally. I was like trying to say to Noodle, can you work this out between you and Mrs. P? At least try to. Because I didn't want to see two ladies fighting. Now I realize now, well, that's kind of impossible. So these girls on my screen, they think it's all right for a vulnerable adult, as they call her, to sit there and threaten to bash people's faces in. Threaten people's grandkids. Make threats of physical harm to other people. Lie. Spread nasty rumors. And then when she gets corrected, she decides to cry. I'm being hate attacked, bullied, because we don't agree with her. Now, the only time I made videos about Mrs. P was that she thought were in her favor was I was saying, please stop the real life, going real life on her, calling the police on Mrs. Portland for welfare checks, based on a coffin post was uncalled for. And some other shit. So some of these trolls decided, oh, we don't like Mrs. P. We're gonna call the police and waste police resources and call welfare checks on her. However, there were a few times when a welfare check was warranted. I've seen it myself. And if she threatens to harm herself on a live stream, people have every right to call for help for her. I'm sorry. I am sorry. But if you threaten to hurt yourself and you have a plan to do it on this platform, then anyone has the right to call for a welfare check. But as Noodle correctly pointed out today on her stream, you ignore Mrs. Portland, she got 10 times worse. But at the same time, you don't sit there and what do you call it? Send threatening emails or nasty emails to Mrs. Portland's email to rile her up. We don't want Mrs. Portland on here acting the way she does. We don't want to give her an excuse to cry on being hate attacked, harassed, and drop her PayPal so she makes some money. I'm sure she wrote some, either her or Walter wrote some of the emails. Yeah, and we all know that Mrs. Portland has no boundaries when it comes to speaking. She'll go after your kids, she'll go after your religion, and that takes some thought. And that takes some thought. And here's the thing. She went to jail. Was it May or whatever? She gets sentenced in July, and it hasn't been 90 days yet. And she's violated. It wasn't. It was about 6. It hasn't been 90 days, and she violated her probation already. So these people, Sophie and Debbie and Cole and X, they don't care about Mrs. Portland one bit. They just want the drama, and they spread the lies as usual. Why is that? Why is that? Why do these people continue to push the envelope? It's not them going to jail, right? It's not them going to jail. It's Mrs. Portland going to jail. It's Mrs. Portland violating her probation. Correct? It's not them violating their probation. It's awfully selfish of them. They're only thinking of their own selfish needs and hatred. To sit there and they say, "Oh, I don't like noodle mash. Let's make up some lies and let's get Mrs. Portland all riled up too, so she starts making threats." And wash her hands clean of this. And we all know Mrs. Portland never takes responsibility for her actions either. Do these people take responsibility for their actions? No. We saw TT last night crying, pointing the finger because she got busted on a video with her reflection, crying to Granny's watching, and Jamie, "You had no right," threatening to strike them if they didn't follow her orders. TT thinks she runs the place. But there's no but here's the thing, Julie. They think oh, they have no regard for the truth. They just say because someone says it must be true. We don't like noodle mash because she left Natasha Cooper. a total scud bucket and scammer. I could agree with that, Violet. But like it's kind of like selfishness. It's like it's not our probation. It's not our freedom on the line. Who cares? Let's just let's just weaponize someone due to our own dislike for someone and let them reap the consequences. And then cry on here that we care about Mrs. P when they really don't. It's disgusting, really. And we all know that Mrs. Portland is fake as hell. She says, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But we never see change behavior, do we? Same thing with Robbie, in a way. He sort of gives his apologies and makes excuses for himself. But do we really see him change for the better? The only thing I've seen Robbie do is change for the worse. All I've seen Robbie do is enable Mrs. Portland, which I didn't agree with in the first place, but it was Robbie's friend, so I just tolerated her. And yeah. Abuse. 100% abuse. 100% abuse. And it's really getting to the point where yeah, I can see that, Violet. You can watch Robbie sometimes, but here's the thing. But here's the thing with Robbie. He went up on Jamie's and cried. Oh, that Jamie doxed him. No, that was no dox. Excuse me. That's no dox. Just posting a picture of a bus. I really don't get the distinction of the bus route on the top of the bus with the mall thing, but it's he just all the point of the meme or whatever on Jamie's stream was to say that he was a bus driver. Big deal. And Hooker was the one who found it. If you want to get technical on this. So if you want to get technical, Hooker found it, had it on her stream. So sit there and think about that for a second. Sit there and think about that. And Robbie sat there and said, well, they're mad at me because I want to be peaceful. No, that wasn't why people were mad at Robbie. No, that wasn't why people were mad at Robbie. The reason people were mad at Robbie was because he made a peace agreement where she's free to go after whoever she fucking wants to. She was free to go after Robbie's friends. So what did that mean? So what did that mean? That Robbie threw his friends under the bus? Just because he wanted to be popular. That's just my opinion. He probably wanted to be popular or liked by the majority of people. So he wanted to be peaceful and look at the kind of chat he has now. He has bottom feeders and trolls, the majority of them in his chat. And the majority of the good people left his chat. And then because he gets angry, he got angry and didn't agree with himself throwing his friends under the bus and didn't give a shit about other people's feelings. He decided to come up on my panel, and with people that had an opinion, he decided to call them whores. When that person or those people did nothing to Robbie to deserve them getting called that. So this is the thing. What he did with Tiffany was awfully selfish. He was thinking of himself. He wasn't thinking of anyone else in his community, on his channel, the friendships he made on here. And he decides to go confront Jamie because, hey, he wanted an excuse. So, let's blame him. He got mad because he thought Jamie doxed him. That wasn't a dox. Jamie didn't put up his full address, his full name, his phone number, things like that to constitute a full dox. He just said maybe his first name. Okay, he's a bus driver. Big fucking deal. Boo hoo. Your occupation got outed. And what do you expect us to do about it? You sit there, he sits there and he calls other people names for absolutely no reason. He actually accuses me of not knowing what I'm talking about because he doesn't agree with it. So he says, I don't know what I'm. So he just says, I don't know how to talk. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and he practically admitted, without even saying it, that he was using other people in this community to attack people. It's a long story. I'm not going to get into it, but I it's just my opinion that Robbie sometimes wants to have control over everything. So, and then when he doesn't, he loses control and starts to have a temper tantrum. Yeah, this is just getting to the point where it's ridiculous. Ariana wanted proof of her own words, her own lies. This whole chat's full of lies. And the one actually, I think it was CJ's forged receipt, decides to make a threat in that same chat. And I look at Noodle's community post. And I said, okay, where did that come from? Where did that comment come from? Yeah, then I hear I'm being talked about. And I said, okay, what the hell's going on here? So I spend like 10 minutes on the dog with fleas. On a little dog with fleas that with very little bite. And then right afterwards, when I'm going into the situation with the blabber with retro, he starts restreaming me. And says, blah, blah, blah. Blah. So we can all see, and then Sophie was up on panel for most of it. So we all know she lies like a champ. So I challenged them to come up with some proof of this shit that they're saying, but I don't think they're gonna actually show anything because they're little cowards. And if they do show any proof, I'm predicting that they'll show, oh, Dorothy said it. It must be true. Natasha said it. It must be true. Those aren't receipts, receipts. Just because a rumor was said doesn't make it true. Okay, Violet, good night. So I just wanted to show one last thing before we go tonight. And this is a pretty nasty. I don't know who this is, but hold on, let me find it. Just give me a second to find it. here we go. Let's get it up on screen. Okay, let me just figure this out. Hold on 1 second. So let's get this out. Share screen again. Oh, here we go. Okay, can everyone see this? Okay. So someone came to Noodles live before and decided to make a threat. So this Veronica Beast person decided to say, tell CJ to leave Marie 21 alone or else. And then said again, I'm coming for you, CJ, and you've been warned. So here's another alt. I'm at I was like, whoa, when I saw this one. So this is the behavior from them over there. This could be over at TT's, or this could be Murray 21 for all we know. And yeah, that is a threat. So what you gonna do, Miss Beast? Hmm? What are you gonna do to CJ? Huh? Do you think I wasn't gonna show this? Shame on you. That's all they know how to do is make threats, lie, and so I hope this gets to CJ. Yeah, I'm sure it's a lie. Is this person is low functioning? Just like Sophie and the others over there. Could be Lufa for all we know. I don't know. Someone who likes to make threats. Could be Glenn. I don't know. One of those people. So I just wanted to show this and call this out because when was the last time I heard her name mentioned? She's rarely mentioned. So all right, everyone. I just wanted to get on. I was going to do game night tonight, but I couldn't get on early enough. So I decided just to show these receipts and talk about them. Since Noodle's being lied about, so am I, and they want to get into people's sex lives and thinks it's a joke. So all right, everyone. So I'd appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up on the way out, and consider membering up. So and my PayPal and Cash App are always open. So thanks everyone for coming, and good night. And I'll probably see you on Saturday. So okay. Bye bye.